You're in the middle of a conversation, someone's talking, you're nodding, but somewhere inside you're 5 layers deep, analyzing what they said, what they didn't say, what it might mean, what you should say next, and whether any of this even matters. And on the outside, you just look quiet. That happens to you a lot, doesn't it? You've probably been told you think too much, that you're too sensitive, that you're in your head again. And for a long time, maybe you believed them, maybe you still do. But here's what no one told you. The things you've been taught to see as flaws, the depth, the overthinking, the emotional weight you carry, they're not signs that something is wrong with you. They're signs of something else entirely. There's actually a reason for this. The human brain isn't one size fits all. Some minds are wired to process deeply, feel intensely, and think in patterns that most people never notice. And those minds, your kind of mind, tend to spend a lifetime being misunderstood, even by themselves. So let's change that. Here are 10 signs that you have a more powerful mind than you've ever been given credit for. 1. You feel other people's emotions before they say a word. You walk into a room and something shifts. You can't explain it. The air feels different. Someone's smile is slightly too wide. Someone's laugh is half a second too late. And you feel it, not just notice it, you absorb it. This isn't anxiety. This isn't you being dramatic. This is called high empathic accuracy. Your brain's mirror neuron system is unusually active. It doesn't just observe social situations, it runs them. It simulates the emotional states of the people around you in real time. That's not a weakness. That's a form of social intelligence most people will never have access to. The exhaustion you feel after being around people, that's the cost of processing the world at a higher resolution than most. 2. You replay conversations, not because you're insecure, but because your brain never really clocks out. Long after everyone else has moved on, you're still there, turning the moment over, examining it from different angles, wondering if you said the wrong thing or if something deeper was happening that you missed. Psychologists call this the default mode network, a set of brain regions that activate when you're not focused on an external task. Most people, it hums quietly in the background. In people like you, it runs full sessions, unasked, uninvited. It's not rumination for the sake of suffering. It's your mind trying to find meaning, trying to understand, trying to be better next time. The problem was never that you think too much. The problem is that no one taught you how to work that kind of mind. 3. You find it hard to be fake, even when it would be easier. Small talk feels almost physically uncomfortable. Not because you're antisocial, not because you don't care about people, but because something in you resists conversations that stay on the surface. You want the real version of people, the honest version, the part they don't usually show. This is depth orientation. Your brain is wired to seek meaning and authenticity over social performance. And in a world that rewards small talk and punishes vulnerability, that makes you feel like you're doing it wrong. You're not. You're just playing a different game. 4. You notice details that other people walk right past. It's the way someone's voice changed mid-sentence. The word they chose instead of the more obvious one. The thing that was almost said and wasn't. You catch all of it. Sensory processing sensitivity, studied extensively by psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron, describes a nervous system that processes information more thoroughly than average. Deeper cognitive processing, higher environmental awareness, greater emotional reactivity to subtlety. You don't miss much, and that's both a gift and at times an overwhelming one. 5. You've always felt slightly out of place, not broken, just different. Like everyone else got a manual you weren't given. Like you're watching the world through glass, present but somehow not quite fitting the shape of things. Not unhappy, exactly. Just aware of a distance. This feeling is common among people with high internal complexity. When your inner world is richer and more layered than the outer world tends to reflect, belonging can feel elusive. Not because you're broken, but because you need depth to feel at home, and depth isn't always on offer. 6. You hold yourself to a standard no one else even knows exists. Other people finish something and move on. You finish something and immediately see everything it could have been. Every flaw, every compromise, every place where you fell short of the version in your head. This isn't perfectionism in the clinical anxious sense. This is the natural gap between a highly developed inner vision and real-world execution. The higher the standard you carry inside, the wider that gap tends to feel. Here's the reframe. You're not hard on yourself because you're broken. You're hard on yourself because you can see something most people can't. A better version of everything you do. That vision is a gift. The relationship with it is the thing worth working on. 7. You think in questions more than answers. While others seem comfortable with certainty, you're sitting with the question behind the question. The assumption underneath the assumption. You're not looking for an answer so much as a deeper understanding of why the question exists at all. This is a marker of integrative complexity, the ability to see multiple perspectives simultaneously and resist the comfort of oversimplification. It can make you seem indecisive. It can make you slow to commit, but it also makes you one of the few people capable of genuinely nuanced thought. In a world that rewards fast and loud, slow and deep gets mistaken for weakness. It isn't. 8. You feel things in waves, and those waves run deeper than most. Something small can move you in a way that surprises even you. A piece of music, the way light hits a window, a stranger's expression, something in a sentence you've read 100 times suddenly meaning something entirely new. This emotional depth isn't fragility, it's bandwidth. Your emotional range is wider, your capacity to feel, really feel, is larger. And yes, that means the lows are lower. But it also means that when something is beautiful, you actually experience the beauty, not just observe it. Most people walk through life at an emotional simmer. You live closer to the full spectrum. 9. You're rarely bored, you're just underwhelmed. When others say you seem disengaged, it's not that your mind has gone quiet, it's that it requires something worth engaging with. Shallow stimulation doesn't hold you, you need texture, complexity, something to actually think about. This is a high need for cognitive stimulation, a well-documented trait in individuals with above-average processing depth. The irony is that it can look like apathy from the outside when it's actually the opposite. Your brain is hungry, it's just selective about what it eats. 10. You've spent years wondering what was wrong with you, and this one matters most. Because all of it, the depth, the sensitivity, the overthinking, the hunger for meaning, none of it was ever a problem to be fixed. It was always a language you hadn't yet learned to read. Powerful minds don't come pre-translated. They come raw, intense, difficult to carry before you understand what you're carrying. You were never too much. You were never broken. You were just a particular kind of mind, in a world that wasn't always built to understand it. And maybe that's the thing worth sitting with tonight. Not a list of self-improvements. Not a new strategy. Just the quiet, settling realization that the version of you that always felt like a problem was never the problem at all.